Well, hello scrappers, Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. What's going on today? Well, today we've got, believe it or not, another job for my friend Johnny in Finland, okay? So one thing he brought me a while back was a big bag full of heavy-duty silver contacts. I'll give you a close-up look at them here. There's basically three types in the bag of these silver contacts. And he wants me to recover the silver from him for him. Seems reasonable enough, right? So, I'll give you a close-up look at the three different types we've got here, and then we'll figure out how we're going to do it. Yeah, so Johnny basically brought me three different kinds of contacts here. There's this kind, which looks like copper, with two silver contacts on it. One on either side there. There's this little one, which again looks like copper, with a contact on it there. And then there's this bigger one, which I suspect is silver-plated copper. And then there's a big, thick contact on this one. So those are the three kinds of contacts we need to get off of this bag of big contacts here. We just need to recover the silver contacts off of them. Although I may keep the silver-plated ones for future silver plating removal. So I'm pretty certain that the only thing I have that's going to melt the silver solder holding these contacts on is my oxyacetylene torch. I'll have to be very careful with it that I don't get it so hot that it melts the copper underneath, because that is a distinct possibility, especially on these smaller ones where the copper is small and thin and it's going to get hot. So, but before we get started, let's weigh this bag and see just how much we've got here in the form of the whole kit and caboodle. And then after we get the silver contacts off, we can weigh them and figure out what kind of a yield we've got. That is a heavy bag. That is 1.432 kilograms. 1,432 grams. Okay. Or for those who insist on the imperial system, 3 pounds, 1.5 ounces. All right. So let me get my oxyacetylene torch out, and we'll see if we can get these silver contacts off of these copper bus bar things without melting the copper. So I don't know what these contacts came out of. I assume some sort of phone equipment, because that's what Johnny normally deals with, is phone equipment. European stuff, old European stuff, Nokia, Ericsson. Get my gases turned on over here to my torch. And so I assume that's where this stuff came from, but I don't know for sure. So I'm trying to do this without setting my bench on fire. I'm going to try and heat these up and knock the silver contacts off into this graphite mold over here, and then I'll put the hot piece of copper into this crucible until they cool down. So that's my game plan here. We'll see how well it works. Torch lit here. Okay, that is way too strong a flame. I think I'm going to melt the copper. So let me turn this way down. All right, we'll try that. It's kind of a red bushy flame. Hopefully it won't melt the copper, but it will be hot enough to get the silver solder holding the contacts on to melt. We'll see. I may have turned it down a bit too much. I don't know. my buddy Jim warned me. You can actually get this hot enough to melt everything. Then you'll have a mess of copper and silver all melted together. Looks like... Yes! Hey, look at that! That worked. Look at that. Alright. So I guess the flame is hot enough. Let's try one of these. The copper's a lot thinner here, so I'd be a little more worried about melting this one. But the small ones especially, I'd be worried about melting. Now, full disclosure, I did try to do this with my MAP gas torch and got nowhere. So we are doing it with the oxyacetylene torch. Hoping I can kind of see. Yeah, I can kind of see when the silver solder starts melting there. And then I know to whack it and get the contact off. All right. Oh yeah, this one, that was already hot, so it melted right away. Okay, good. Let me try one of these little ones and see if I can do it without too much catastrophe here. Oh yeah, okay. I could see the flame turned green right then, and the copper was glowing very bright, so I knew that I probably was on the brink of melting the copper. So let's try another one of these big ones. These big ones look heavy. Once I get these all off, we'll weigh the amount of contacts we've got here. And some of these individual ones, like these ones right here on these big, I don't know what you call it, bus bars maybe, they look like they are a lot of silver. Are we there yet? We're there. Look at that. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Yeah. So this is working. Okay. Getting all these contacts off. After we weigh them, no, not quite ready. After we weigh them, we'll discuss what I'm going to do with them. Well, I can see the silver solder bubbling, but it's just not coming off. It's actually running. Actually, I think I melted the silver a bit on that one. Yeah, looks like it might just be silver solder, but it looks like it ran down the side of the thing there. This one should come off quick because the copper's already super hot. Yeah, that one came off quick. I guess that's just silver solder. So I'll have to figure out how to get silver solder off of these things too. Alright, so I'm just going to keep doing this until I get all of the contacts off. And we'll move on from there. Yep, that was easy. Alright, so I'll be back when I'm done. And here we go. Here's the last one. This all went pretty well on the whole. I have managed to singe my bench here, my makeshift bench a little bit, but that's okay. It's a sacrificial piece of plywood. And I had to get a second crucible to hold all the hot copper. And I think I only melted one pretty badly. The rest of them, it went pretty well. And there we go. That's that. Okay. Turn off my tanks here. Okay, so what I need to do is cool this stuff down, and then we can weigh it and see just how much silver we've got here. So I'll do that, and we'll get the scale out again, and we'll see. So let's see what we've got here in silver contacts. Wow, 109 grams of silver contacts, and I'm sure some of this smaller stuff here is little balls of silver solder too. But it's mostly silver. So what do I want to do with this stuff? Well, I don't think it's pure enough to melt down into bullion bars, okay? I'm sure they put some kind of additives in the silver to make it tougher for use as contacts. Plus, it's got a lot of silver solder. You know, all the contacts have silver solder on the back side of them. So, I don't think it's pure enough to melt down into bullion. So, we're going to have to purify this stuff before we do that. How am I going to purify it? Well, I could dissolve it in nitric acid. There's the lion sugar method. I could just cement it out on copper. That's going to come out pretty darn clean. But, there's a big but here. I'm working on a silver cell, okay? A silver refining cell. So, I think what I'm going to do probably, I think what we'll do is melt this down to make anodes for the silver cell, run them through there, then we'll get 3/9 or better fine silver out of the cell, and then we can melt those down and make bullion bars. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this stuff. Now this stuff back here, which I'm sure is still hot, it's mostly copper. Some of them are silver plated, like this one. And of course, they still have silver solder stuck to them. So I need to figure out what to do with these. I may build myself a silver plating stripping cell and try and strip the silver plating off of the ones that are plated and see if it'll take the silver solder off the others too. So that may be a way to go in the future. But, well, there we go. Got some nice silver contacts here that can make into some nice pure silver to pour into bullion bars. So, there you go. And making progress, Johnny. Making progress. And if you guys out there watching this video are pleased with the progress I'm making on Johnny's stuff, give the video a like, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see future videos. I've got a lot more of his stuff to process. Plus, not done with this. So stay tuned. Subscribe to see the future videos. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.